us again with one of Eric's continuing This Is Your Life slots.
Hello, good morning to you.
And the last, I think we were at Stoke Ferry and you were getting towards the end of it, but apparently you had to buy a chemist shop to have somewhere to live because the guys had failed to do what they committed to do whilst you were doing your around the world trip.
For our 50th wedding anniversary, we went round the world, and I think I told you last time we organised these 5 men to, I can't remember, 3 or 5 men to do the house up while we were away. And when we would come back after, I can't remember how many months, we'd have the house straight, all beautifully done, ready to move into. We left them all the money and everything they needed.
Yeah.
But of course, when we came back, human nature being what it is,
it took advantage.
the foreman, and unfortunately it was the foreman, he'd taken advantage. He was drawing wages from me, but he was off making extra money doing work for other people as well.
Yeah.
And the consequence was that the house wasn't finished. 2 men, fortunately, who were honest and who were good, they'd worked solidly all the time, so it was well forward, but it wasn't ready to move into, unfortunately. So I was in a quandary, as you are.
Pretty much.
And but fortunately, just down the road from the high street in Stoke Ferry, a wonderful little village, by the way, there was a chemist shop, and it was up for sale.
Okay.
So we had living accommodation, you know, it was a shop in the high street with accommodation.
Well, above the shop. Yeah.
And so I popped down, had a look at it, took my wife down to have a look at it, and we thought, well, that'd be fine to stay in while the house was finished.
Yeah.
So we made an offer for the place, which was accepted, and we moved into a chemist shop. So I can say I've lived in all sorts of places, in the middle of a wood, on the top of a mountain, all sorts. So now we included a chemist shop in the middle of a high street.
So were you dispensing stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely, no question about it. But so we got the men. Those 2 men were brilliant.
Yeah.
All I did was to replace the foreman who let us
you
down
down,
so
really,
badly.
let you down.
And it was sad because, but mind you, there again, good comes from everything.
Right.
I had bought a house nearby for him and so his girlfriend could come up and live with him while we were away, and renting it to him.
Yeah.
And I say good comes from everything because we've still got that property which we let out, and we bought it at the right price, so it was a good investment, so something good came off
Well,
it.
it often does.
But there we are.
But you ended up with Stoke Ferry. You lived in Stoke Ferry.
So we moved into Stoke Ferry, but of course my wife, you've got to remember, we'd lived in Arundel Priory, where our next door neighbour was the Duke of Norfolk in the castle, sort of a mile away, and Well Manor, which was perhaps surrounded in its own.
You've been spoiled.
What's it? The farm, which was surrounded by 250 acres. We're thoroughly spoiled. And there was my wife with neighbours.
Yeah.
And it wasn't those particular neighbours.
No.
But she just didn't like the fact of having to have neighbours living close on top of her.
Right.
It's what you're used to. It's not snobbishness or anything. If you got used to that, when you go out of your back door, you don't want to see somebody hanging out the washing. If you know what I mean. But I always tried to make my wife happy and gave her what she wanted.
Right.
So I thought, well, I bought the place originally to store the furniture.
Which you had oodles.
But I was a bit disappointed because I made it very personal.
Yes.
In our bedroom, for instance, we had this huge ensuite bathroom.
Oh, right.
And I put a television over the bath, so you could lie in the bath and look at this 42-inch television. It was absolutely magnificent.
Very dangerous.
Why?
Well, I've seen the murder scenes where it's normally the electric heater falls in.
Oh, my dear.
And that's it.
My dear.
Gone.
When it's put in properly, Yeah, but it's lovely lying in the bath looking at television. I've never done it since, I might add.
Right.
But excuse me. But so we did it up beautifully.
Right.
And I had television on the front door, so when anybody came to the front door, you had screens all through the house, so that you could see who was at the front door and hear them. Very convenient.
Yeah.
So, as I say, when my wife said she didn't like having neighbours, it wasn't the neighbours, having neighbours, I said, well, we'll try and find somewhere else.
All right.
So we went looking. Is that your phone? Or
no. Not guilty. There's one within the inner bowels of the house going away. Yeah.
It just shows that it's live, doesn't it? Now, where was I?
You went looking for somewhere else.
We went looking for somewhere else.
Yeah.
So we tried everywhere. We tried Harwich, and we went and stayed. We thought we'd start at one end of the coast because my wife said it'd be nice to be by the sea.
Yes.
And we tried Harwich, and I liked Harwich. It's a lovely. In fact, we found a very interesting house there.
Oh, right.
But then we came back, and in the meantime, we bought a house for my family in Ipswich, in Norwich Road.
Right.
And we came back. We found this interesting house in Harwich. We came back to Norwich Road, and as things happen, things always happen for the best. Yeah. So our neighbours came in and said, "Oh, we're putting our house up for sale." It was a doctor and his wife.
Right.
And I said, "Well, that's all right. What do you want for it?" And it was a reasonable price. That's all right. We'll have it.
Right.
So that meant we had two houses in Norwich Road. The one for my daughter and her husband, and one of my sons, and we would be living next door.
Right.
So I did my usual conversion business
Indeed.
on it and made it as we wanted it, and it was very nice living in Ipswich.
So you lived there for a while?
Oh yes, I can't remember how long, but needless to say, my daughter living next beside us, she thought it would be nice. She'd always heard my wife saying she wanted to have a house by the sea, and she's a wonderful daughter.
So she went off
went off finding something, and she found this house here that we're sitting in.
And we better take a shot around it.
The estate agent says it's the best sea view in Felixstowe.
He's not far wrong,
because it's facing south,
yes,
and it's 180 degrees view. So and so we get the sun in the morning, and it goes all the way round. In fact, if you look at last week's "This Is My Life," you'll see the sun shining through on
it. Was giving us some stuff.
But we haven't got it today because we pulled the blinds down.
So when you bought this particular property, you had a number of conversions and changes done to the property, haven't you?
Oh, we practically rebuilt it.
Did you really?
See, I believe that houses have vibes.
Yes.
And unless you sort of redo it through completely,
right,
those vibes stay with the house.
Right.
And I mean, people don't realise it, but they go into a house and they'll get vibes from the past.
Well, certainly there's imprints in houses.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's something in the house.
Some of them feel not so good, and some feel very well.
But I found that if you do it a complete over, I mean, all of this section of the house we built on. We got.
This came on, did it?
Oh yes, this wasn't here. You're sitting.
So that was the original. That was the window.
That was the
French door.
There was a window. It was a window with a little tiny conservatory, about 3 foot wide.
Hardly worth doing. Yeah.
But it was the position which did us absolutely wonderful.
So what's above us here?
I've got up there's the best part of the house. There's my sunroom, and it's got glass all the way around it.
Right.
And I can sit in there. I've got heated floor, underfloor heating.
Right.
And I can sit in there and enjoy the sun any time of the day or afternoon.
Or year.
Yes. Absolutely. And I've got a balcony round.
So it's your little cocoon. Really.
It's my little cocoon.
Off
my bedroom.
Yeah.
So couldn't be better. We're very lucky.
That's great.
But
so it could be your study. You could be actually
writing. I've got a study downstairs.
Yes. Well, I know you've got a work office.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, if you're going to write your "This Is My Life," I mean, you need somewhere to compile it and work through.
I'm going to leave somebody else. At the age of 90, I'm afraid I'm not.
So this is pretty much. You think this suits you from a point of view of day to day.
Well, of course it does.
And the family come too. So
yeah. Well, you see, basically we've got companies which I'm associated with. It's all owned by companies.
Yeah.
It's not me personally. No. I'm a pauper, and
I've heard.
Yes, but I mean the point is that it's run by a company. It's run by.
Yeah.
But my little flat I rent properly and it's all done.
Yeah.
But you have to do things correctly.
I'm sure you do.
Which is a good thing. Well, it saves a lot of trouble, and it saves you can sleep at night if you do things correctly.
That's important. So what we'll come on to on the next session of This Is Your Life is what you've been doing since you've come to Felixstowe. And I think to do that we need to sort of have a pre-production meeting and just do the milestones. Because
Yes.
you've been here a while now.
Well, we have. We've been here 6 years now.
Have you
Fortunately,
really?
my wife had 3 or 4 years of happiness
Yes,
here,
she did.
looking at the sea.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful house because we built up the outside.
Yes, and then you.
So there's a patio so that you can sit out on the patio, hidden by the people on the beach can't see us because of the hedge.
Yeah.
And of course, it's interesting. We've had so many letters from people. Just up above there, there's the sea cam.
Oh yes, and you have that running, don't you?
Which hasn't been running unfortunately, for a month or two.
Why not?
Because I've been ill.
Oh right. Okay.
And had my operation. I haven't been able to chase people, but I'm chasing them up now.
Yeah, get it
so
back
we should
online.
But we've had letters from all over the continent.
Oh, right.
People look every day to see the shipping, to see the sea, to see the weather.
I love it.
People in Ipswich look to see it, whether they're to come or not.
Yeah.
And it's a great service.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I actually put it to the council some years ago.
Yes.
Having had a holiday in Switzerland, and one thing that I found remarkable there, on their national television, you can actually get a video camera that is on each of the ski slope areas.
Well, this is
so
sensible.
if you live in Switzerland,
Yes.
you can check before you go what's currently happening. And I've never understood why we don't use that facility to show what all our beaches are doing,
Well,
because you would know what it was.
You're one step ahead of me because we have got, as you know, down below the old Coes building, where we've got
Absolutely.
the television and the radio station
Yes.
in there.
Mm.
And of course that is opposite the top of Bent Hill.
And
Bent Hill goes
view.
down
Yeah.
to the youth club, the nightclub.
Yeah.
And apparently, I don't know because I don't. No, I'm not at 90. I don't go to a nightclub.
You do.
But apparently,
Right.
apparently, up that hill on a Saturday night, all the nonsense comes.
Oh right.
Because the taxi is at the top of Bent Hill.
Yes, it is.
So
isn't
all
it?
the youngsters from the nightclub come up the hill,
Right.
and there's a lot of nonsense.
Oh right.
And one of the people in the hill
Right.
came to see me when we started the sea cam.
Yes.
And said, "Can't we have a sea cam here?
Yes, we
Because
could.
it would do so much good."
It would.
And I agreed with
Yeah.
it, and we've never got round to doing it. But one of these days we
It
must
could
have
happen.
It would be nice to have 2 sea cams in.
It would be,
in-
yeah.
And of course, on a Saturday night.
Oh, it'd be compulsive viewing.
Compulsive viewing.
Well, I mean, those who are really fed up with football, and certainly the way that it's currently been going,
Yeah.
might be happy to look at those leaving
And
nightclubs in Felixstowe.
what more enjoyable than seeing people enjoying
Well,
themselves?
there you go. So on that high note, enjoyment is what you've just had, I
Absolutely.
hope. So join us on the next session of This Is Your Life. So goodbye from me, Michael Nimmey.
And
young
goodbye
Eric.
from me, and thank you. And have a really good week and enjoy yourself.
Indeed.
Life, we're only on this earth once, so enjoy what you can while you're here. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye-bye.